Today, we're going to look at how you can view the internet browser history on your Romoland student's Chromebook. So one thing to begin is, in order to do this, you will need to log in on the device with your student's Romoland email address and password. Now, we do ask our students to keep their passwords confidential. Password security is a life skill that we want our students to learn. We don't want them sharing their passwords with anybody, even people who they think are close friends, because passwords have a way of getting out, which can lead to unintended problems. So with that said, we have told parents that they should be sharing their password with their parent or guardian. So if your student is telling you that they were told not to share their password with you, please know that that is not the case. So once you've logged in on the device with their account, you can click down in the bottom left corner on this little beach ball looking thing. That's Google Chrome, which is the browser on the device. And then go up in the top right corner, click this button that has the three little horizontal lines on it. Scroll down to history, and then over here and hit history again. Click on that. And now you are viewing the browsing history for the student on this device. So as you scroll through this, some things you'll notice. One is that things are separated into sections based on the day that the activity took place. And then as you look underneath each section, you will see times. And then next to that, the actual site that the student had visited. And you can click directly on one of those links to go to the actual website that they were visiting. Now, some things to watch out for as you're viewing the history, some red flags, is one, if you see items such as this that say securely.com, that is the district's web filter. All of our devices are filtered with the same filtering policy, both at school and at home. So if you're seeing something there, that indicates that the student visited a site that was blocked and that they got a page that said that it was blocked. Sometimes this can happen by mistake, but it is always a good thing to check on that to see if that's an indication of possible inappropriate use. So to do that, you would just click on the link, and then when you get to the block page, you can click on the details link here, and that will show you the site that they visited and the category that it was blocked as. So that's good information to know as you have a conversation with a student about their activity and whether it was appropriate or not. Another thing to look out for is gaps in time where you know that the student was using the device, but there is not browser history to reflect their activity. Unfortunately, Google will not allow us to prevent students from deleting their browsing history at this time. That's just not something that they allow. But you can look for red flags. For example, you can see here a gap in time between 1:53 and 2:09 where there is no history, and you can see a little line showing that there is a gap between those two time frames. If you know that your student was using their device during that time, that would be a good indication that they may have deleted something from their history, and that would be something for you to have a conversation with. We definitely recommend for all of our parents and guardians of Romoland students that you talk with your students and make sure that you set expectations with them about what type of use is appropriate, what type of use is not appropriate. We know that that is different in every household, so we want to make sure that you're communicating with your student what is expected and what is not appropriate. Some things that you may want to keep in mind if you have a student who is having trouble using their device in a way that you feel is appropriate is that you can set limits on how or where they're using the device in the household. So some suggestions are not to let the student use the device in a room away from public view where they may be tempted to do things when no one is watching. You could instead require that they use their device in a public area, such as at the dinner table, and that they're positioned in a way where you can glance over and see the screen and see what they're up to. Another suggestion is you can set limits on the times that the device may be used. So say the student may only use their Chromebook for 3 hours after they get home from school, so that they have time to do their homework and maybe have a little bit of fun if you want them to. And when that time is up, the Chromebook gets put away and it's away for the night in a place where they don't have access to it, where it's able to be charged. And then the next morning, they can bring it to school with them. So those are some ideas on how you can use your student's device to view their browsing history and inform conversations with your student about how they're using it instructionally. And I hope that this information has been helpful to you. Thank you very much.